Hello, good people. Thanks for joining me. My name is Anne, and on my channel, I review foreign international content. I like to say we travel around the world sitting on our couches. How fun is that? We have diversified what we watch. Do not let that 1-inch subtitle get in your way of enjoying foreign international content. It is just fantastic. You're learning food and culture and languages. Oh my word. I hope you have your passport. Let's go. Hi guys, thanks for joining me again. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Anne, and on my channel I review foreign international content. Today I'm back to review this excellent, fantastic series, Bridgerton. You'd have to be under a rock to have not heard about Bridgerton, but if you haven't, please join. We are in season 3. Lucky enough to get season 3 finally, and they actually just dropped 4 episodes. It was dropped yesterday on Thursday, and I guess we're gonna get the rest of the episodes in June. For people who doesn't know what Bridgerton is, it's a fantastic series, and I guess it's based out of books about the Bridgerton siblings. And we are now in season 3, and they are focusing on Penelope and Colin, one of the Bridgerton sons. And obviously this wonderful production is brought to us by the Black excellence that is Shonda Rhimes. So you know it's good, and that's why we all fell in love with it. And for sure with season 3, she did not disappoint. It starts off really good. Obviously, if you watch season 2, we ended up with Penelope, who is Mrs. Whistledown, having a fallout with her really good friend, best friend, Eloise Bridgerton. And obviously, you saw in season 2, it was because she thought she was trying to protect her friend by writing about her, because Eloise had gotten herself involved with this guy, and let's just say who was low class. And we know the Bridgertons are high class, and we know the high class do not mix with the low class. And so she was trying to discourage her. And let's just say Eloise finds out who Whistledown is, and it's Penelope, and it so happens to be her best friend. And she can just imagine, like, why would you do that to me, right? And in her mind, she's thinking, I'm protecting you. So this obviously continues in season 3. We see, it's kind of sad to watch because they were such good friends. And you can actually see Eloise does miss her friend, and same thing with Penelope. The way they look at each other. Now Eloise is hanging out with this other girl who not very likable, and Penelope is trying to move on with her life, and she's decided, you know what? I'm gonna work hard at getting married. Apparently she got out 3 years ago, but nobody is interested in her. And she's like, maybe I'm just gonna put work into it. And I love that they did a little transformation of her, like Cinderella. And then obviously Colin comes back. We know Colin is who she really loves, and they're very good friends. And Colin, I think, has always looked at her like a sister and a best friend, but never looked at her with those eyes of romance, almost like always friend zoned her. And in last season, we saw that Colin says, there's no way I would ever date Penelope, and it broke her heart. So she's like, well, why then do I even bother with him, right? We saw when he had gone to, let's just say, find himself, I don't know, sow his wild oats. When he would be writing to her about all his adventures, she was not responding as she used to, and it bothers Colin. And then obviously Colin comes back, and ooh, is he looking steady? You can tell he's been working out. Even his brothers were like, wow, you kind of looking handsome. Like, what did you do when you're out and about? And let's just say he's trying to befriend Penelope, and Penelope's just not having it. And finally Colin is like, what did I do? Like, you keep ignoring me, you're not interested. And she finally confesses that, look, I overheard you saying that I'm not good enough to marry you, would never even look at me that way, and it hurt my feelings. And he was like, no, that's not what I meant. And let's just say it just makes it awkward. And then he figures, you're my friend, and it sounds like you want to go out there, put yourself out there for a husband, and try it this time around, because now it's the time when all the new ladies are showing up. They're ready for marriage. And so he decides to help her, And let's just say it was kind of interesting to watch Penelope because you can tell she's never had the practice of when she morphs. And I love what she's dressing differently now. She cares about how she looks. And now she's getting attention from the guys, and she's awkward. She just does not know what to do with this attention because she's like, I have never gotten this attention. I actually felt sorry that she always goes to the wall because she's like, nobody's gonna ask me, nobody's gonna bother with me, so I just go and hang by the wall. And it's almost like now she has to push herself to not stay at the wall. And then obviously Colin is helping her with, be yourself, don't overdo it, because she was overdoing it before, and just the men were like, oh my gosh, she's weird, and would walk away. So I love that Colin is helping her with that. And then you all know, as this is Bridgerton, as things would go, clearly now Colin is starting to look at her in a different light. And you have to keep watching and see up to episode 4 how their relationship grow. If you've read the books, you do know, spoiler alert, they do end up getting together, and that was so loving. I love that one episode where she was like, look, I'm gonna die a spinster and have never kissed anybody. And she says, Colin, do me a favor, just kiss me, because clearly me and you are not a thing. We're just friends. Just kiss me in case I die. I can say at least I kissed someone and I know what that feels like. But when she does that and they exchange that kiss, Colin was like, oh, wait a minute here. And let's just say Colin is like, ooh, I've been sleeping on that. And ooh, my heart is like bothered, right? So you have to see how the relationship evolves. That was really kind of touching. And then obviously now we have other men, because now Penelope is growing in her charm and she's nice and she's being herself. And so men are starting to get attracted. You actually see there's a guy who's ready to propose, and Colin is like, oh my god, this cannot be good because I'm about to lose my girl. So you have to watch to see how he fights back. That was good to see. Good to see a cameo of Anthony and Kate, very in love. They're in their honeymoon, so that was nice to see that they kind of did a little bit of them, because season 2 was about Anthony's marriage, and then obviously season 3 is about Colin, Bridgerton. And then in the middle of all that, we have our wonderful queen who never disappoints. Oh, every single time she's on screen, I'm like, I cannot wait to see what wig we got now and what they have on it. Like this time, she had one huge wig that had diamonds and I think and a crown in the middle of it. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. These wigs just keep getting crazier and better by each shot. Just fantastic. And then obviously she and Miss Whistledown has given her a challenge, like, okay, queen, let's see if this year you're gonna be lucky enough to make a good match for our new ladies that are coming out, right? And so she takes that challenge. She's like, okay, we'll see Mr. Down. And she's looking and she's just like, my god, this year is kind of dry. Nobody is really like, catching my eye until Lady Danbury. And you know me, Lady Danbury is always in the background working. Had seen Francesca Bridgerton, who's out. She's really quiet. She loves to play piano, just doesn't like too much, doesn't want all the fuss and everything. And Danbury is like, she's the one, and obviously points her out to the queen, and the queen is like, you are my diamond, right? And now she's trying to send suitors to her, all kinds of suitors to come and suit Francesca. But we find out she's a quiet soul. She doesn't like too much. And she meets this other guy who's also like, I just want solitude, and taking a liking to each other. So that's kind of cool to see. So we'll see what becomes of them. Part 2, so that'll be interesting to see. The other crazy characters is Penelope's sisters. Oh my gosh, they are so crazy. So for them to inherit the money that they were left, there's a stipulation that one of them have to have an heir. We need a male heir so then they can inherit the property. So the mother is pushing them like, could you all guys just get pregnant? You got this obnoxious husbands. Ooh, some crazy obnoxious husbands. What's crazy is that they don't even know how to make babies. The mother is like, what have you been doing? No, that's not how it works. Like, God help them, right? So anyway, that was interesting to see, just the whole fiasco and just how crazy they all are. But it seems like now we're being teed up for the next couple episodes. And the thing is, Whistledown has written some crazy things about Colin because there's one area where she was not happy with him and the fact that he didn't like her. She wrote some things that are not very nice, and Colin was like, I cannot wait to find her, and when I find her, I'm gonna bring her down. Just the fact that he doesn't know that Whistledown is Penelope. And it seems like in part 2, Eloise is like, are you gonna tell him that you are Miss Whistledown? And it seems like Penelope is having a hard time trying to say it. And it looks like Eloise wants to out her, so that's gonna be crazy. And then the queen is paying people all kinds of rewards to find Whistledown. So they're all trying to out who is Miss Whistledown. So I think that's gonna be fun. And then we're gonna see how they end up, if Penelope and Colin end up together, and do we get a wedding? That would be good. The other character that we saw was Alice and William Modrich. Remember the couple that owns that bar? He used to do boxing, really good friend of Simon. Simon. Oh, we miss Simon. Simon who made us burn. Ooh. Anyway, we saw that somehow their son, youngest son, came into money. Now he's the Lord, and now they've become rich. They're living in this huge mansion, and we see that William and Alice are just having a hard time with like adjusting to this new wealth, how to dress, who to socialize with, and he's like, I just want to go back to my business, and she's like, I just want to go back to my house where it was just normal. So that was interesting to see how it's like tough. The other person that I thought was a good introduction was Lady Danbury's brother comes to town, and whew, I'm like, he looks like trouble, and he looks like he likes Violet Bridgerton, you know, the mom of Colin, the mother of all the Bridgertons, if you will. And woo, I cannot wait for the part 2 because it looks like they take a liking to each other. So we'll see what becomes of that. But did you watch season 3? What do you think of the 4 episodes that we got so far? I loved it. I have to say, for season 3, you know, usually Bridgerton is like hot, like, right? Like, woo. You're like, ooh, you don't know what you're gonna see, especially with the, you know, the intimate scenes, if you will. These 4 episodes were very PG. Was it just me? But maybe they're waiting for part 2. Maybe that's when they're gonna bring the fire, like we always know Bridgerton is. But I have to say, these 4 episodes, I was like, oh, we're very subdued so far. But it's still going on. But anyway, let me know, did you enjoy? Let me know in the comment section what you thought of Bridgerton season 3 and these 4 episodes that we got. I review a lot of Korean dramas, so if you love watching Korean dramas and this is your first time here, please join us. I'm watching Frankly Speaking, and that is just hilarious. It is so much fun. That's really fun. So if you're looking for something to watch that. Somebody said to watch, I think it's called Zone 8. So I'm gonna check that out. Sounds like it's pretty good. But once again, thank you so much for joining me. If you do like my video, give me a like, subscribe. It does help support my channel. And I'll see you in my next one. Deuces.